Okay, I think we're live on YouTube now. Can somebody please confirm that? I think we are. I'll close this. Okay, great. I do not see the YouTube live stream going on because if I open two, I will have an echo. So I'm depending on you guys to moderate it and keep it good and keep it clean and do the good things over there. So good afternoon to our YouTube viewers. We just came live on YouTube. We were on for 5 minutes before that. Happy New Year's to you if you haven't heard me on Zoom. A lot of people ask me where they get to come using the Zoom link, which means you get to ask questions when we close the YouTube live, right? It's always on my Facebook page, Pro Wave Trader. It's always here. You will find it there. And the link is always pinned at the top. So never worry about it. This link, you may want to help share this link. This link is for 3 months. So it will be the same link for the next 3 months. Let me record this so people who will be watching this video will also know that, right? So it will pretty much be the same link for the next 3 months. So please help share it. Make sure we get it to enough traders. So there are a lot of people who've seen my video for the first time in last year or in the end of the year, and they were very amazed. They sent me a lot of very nice feedback. So thank you for those feedbacks. Let's go. I hope all of you have been following me for a long while. We only have 154 people. I guess some people are still celebrating New Year's. So I think we will just go ahead and start and others will watch the recording, right? So just to let you know where you can find me. Let's go. I'll just close that page so we don't have to go back to it. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the first weekly outlook for this year. I'll be seeing you guys every week, hopefully every day if I manage to do the daily ones. I will start putting out the link for the daily ones on Facebook also, the same page I showed you at the very start of it. And it might be not in this month, maybe at the end of mid-February when we'll start the daily ones, because I have a course coming up. The course, and a lot of you send me questions in the course, and I told you to come to this webinar. I will talk about it at the end of the webinar. For those of you who are interested in the upcoming course, which is going to start on the 22nd of January, all your questions at the end of the webinar if you're interested. It will be recorded for those who will be watching this webinar and will also want to know about the course. If you watch the webinar to the very end, you will get the information about the thing. For those who are not interested, let's start the webinar right now. Let's go. Dollar index. So this week, the first week, the market opened, but not much movements and nothing much has changed from what we were looking at. I would go through some higher time frames and some lower time frames so you guys can see what I'm looking for the next midterm and for the short term. Long term, we're going to do that probably in another webinar. So midterm, I do think we can, remember if you were, for instance, last year, we were anticipating this to either make a consolidation and drop or totally go back up. Either is possible because we've got to move here and we're within that move. So we could go back up to the top there, or we could make it one here and drop. Within this structure, that is possible. So what you'll be doing, I think you can look for buy setups if you're looking at the dollar index, which means on the majors, we'll be looking for sell setups. Let's go to the euro. Euro, definitely, I'll be looking for a sell setup. For those of you who were in my group earlier in the week, remember we said you can sell it here, and I think some of you may have taken the sale there on the lower time frame. When it gets to this level, you got to move that to break even because at this point, they will tell us whether this is a consolidation for more up or whether we're going to break through. Either way, we're in a big sideways move. We're not going anywhere. On the daily, it's just a big sideways move. I'm expecting one more move back to this level. After that, I will give you longer term forecast, but for now, I'm expecting them to at least make one more move to this level. Now, is it going to be this move that will go to that level, or is it going to be one more up before they come back here? Right? Either of those are possible. So every time I get a sell opportunity, I'll look for it. So I am looking for a sell opportunity, and then I'll see where that goes. If it goes sideways, I'll just get out of the trade. If it goes down, we're in a good trade. For the buy opportunity, if this takes off, goes sideways, and then take off, you'll have to buy above the top. That will take a while. The most imminent trade you can get right now is looking for a sell. Pound, I'm long-term downside on this one. This has not changed. The view of this from last year has not changed. It's just confirmed that it looks like it's going to go more down. We're making consolidation here, so there's a good chance you will go for this trade. You'll put that trade to break even, and you'll be looking for this trade. At this point, they will tell us, do we have one more up, or are we totally going down? Either is possible. We're not going to discuss why that is so and how that is so. Go for the sell. Don't buy the pound. Let me put it this way. Even if the pound go up, don't buy the pound. There isn't a long-term buy setup on the pound now. You can look for buy setups on the pound. If we break through this, come here and then start to go up. That would be a long-term buy setup. Right now, any move to the downside would be the sell you're looking for immediately short-term. That might turn into a long-term sell. We would look at how the structure behaves at that point. But right now, you're looking for a sell setup. When I say look for a sell setup, this is what I mean. I'm looking for a sell setup. So I'm not going to buy the pound, even if it makes a spike up. Because sometimes traders get this wrong with what I'm doing. They say, oh, he said he's looking for a sell, but look, it went up. That's okay. Let it go up. Based on my strategy, based on my understanding of patterns, and based on what I'm doing, I don't care about that last move to the upside. I'm looking at the biggest structure, and the structure tells me you should be looking for a sell setup because you've already moved up this much in a consolidation. So I'm looking for a sell setup. And if I'm right about it, which means if I pick the exact time to get in, I may go in. I've been selling this from here. I sold some there that I got out of. I sold some there that become break-even trade. And I'll repeat the same process here because I am looking for this move down. And I may make a number of attempts at getting that move. It will happen. The question is, am I getting it right now? I hope so. But that might not be so because there's a possibility, if you understand structure, there's a possibility with this structure to come here and go back up one more before it goes. This would be a complete structure of a 5-wave pattern that I know of. Right? So I'm aware that this could happen. Not will happen, but could happen. I'm still selling because if this does not happen, this is what is going to happen. If I sell and I have to get out for a small profit and it goes up, I will consider buying on this one, but only after we've broken this low, then I'll consider buying. Exactly where support and resistance people will be selling. If I see structural change, I'll be looking for a buy. If no structural change, I'll stay in the sells. What do I mean by structural change? Well, that's the long process you learn in my course. How to understand when it's going to turn and when it's not going to turn. Right? That's what we train you to do. Let's go. New Zealand, pretty much the same thing. Remember we said, watch it when it comes out of here. Wait for, if you remember very clearly, when you sell that, you should take break-even trade. And this was an up trade for last week. Move your stops, take profit. Why you want to take profit in this one? We don't know for sure that they will come and break the top, make this a 3-wave structure. We can't confirm that, but we knew that that was a possibility from last year. If you go back and look at my videos, that is why I said it, buy, you can take it, move your stops, stay with it, take profit if you want. If you're not in the trade, and there's a numerous time to get in that trade in terms of getting in here, getting in at this point, getting in at that point, you can see all the entry points that we were identifying earlier. If you want to get into this trade, long-term New Zealand is downside, but that's a long-term. And we will, I think I will do one of those long-term videos for you guys somewhere at the ending of probably February or so, because too much things right now. I'll try to do one. Long-term means we'll look at forecasts that will go for months. This whole structure is a big corrective structure. Since you asked them, this is a big corrective structure. What we don't know is whether they'll make another high. That is possible. So you don't have to worry about whether it's going to happen right now because your right now trade is upside. Don't buy now. If you didn't buy before that, if you haven't bought this yet, don't buy. Wait for a bigger correction before you buy. As a matter of fact, what you should be doing is looking for a short-term sell. Short-term because they'll probably go back for one more up. I don't think this would be all the correction before we fall, but go for the sell. Any buys you want to get into, if we're going to go for the upside for buy, we'll have to allow it to pull back and then go for that buy. You'll have to allow it to pull back and then go for that trade. You'll have to allow it to pull back and then go for this trade. Right? You'll have to allow this to pull back and then go for that trade. So it's the same thing. You wait for the pullback before you go in the trade. Aussie, if you took this trade here, which we identified, amazing, you're in a good trade. Now you want to move your stops very tight. I'll take out this one because that's a break-even trade if they took it. It's still positive, but I would have taken it out for break-even by now. There is a good chance that this will come back down here. Two things we were expecting, and I think it's going to come back as a corrective structure, one more up, and then we will see what happens when they break that up. But right now, a possible sell is already forming, and the sell is short term. This sell, I'm not expecting this sell to be the one that falls. It's more of a short-term sell, and then we will make a decision. So this week, if you're looking for any trade in Aussie, probably a sell. This is showing us that it's going to start, it's kind of going to make a correction. Either they will go flat. If you sell and they go flat, which means if you sell the break of this and they go flat like this, you probably take out the trade for a small profit. If they go deep, you get a nice profit, right? You'll probably get a number of trades even in it. Looking at the way this came very strong, they might come back pretty deep before they go up. Yen, absolutely upside, right? So if you remember, yen is going to make a deep correction before it goes. I think we're in a deep correction right now. So you're looking for this one up and take profit or move to break even. Don't take profit. Move that to break even because there's a possibility you're going to get one more here before they go. This could be a 1, 2, 3-wave structure before they go. We don't know if this is all the, well, not that piece, but we don't know if all the consolidation is over. I just don't want to go into the details of which part will be the bigger structure. But let's just for simplicity's sake, we don't know that the correction is over. But if you get an opportunity to buy it, right? Move it to break even. Worst case is you get a break even trade, you get a sell setup, you take the sell back to this low. Let me put it there. Once you break this low, take profit. If you get a sell, not here, when they break out, if they start to fall, which means you get a break even trade, you get a sell opportunity, sells to this level, and then get the hell out of it because it's going to go back up. Long term, yen is upside. No question about that. Long term, this is going up. We're just consolidating in this range to figure out, this range. When that consolidation there is over, we're taking off, and you're going to get this. So how long would it consolidate in there? Well, that's the unknown factor, at least for now. But you can trade this, right? You can trade it up. You can get some small trade. This was a short trade down. Then you get another short trade up. Then you get another short trade down. Then you're probably in the right trade to the upside. CAD, I think CAD will be going up one more. I don't see this as coming down right now here. Let me take this off. I was explaining something to the guys in Dubai. We had a meeting with all my traders in Dubai. Amazing. We had I think from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. just Q&A. It's absolutely free. It's not profit making. They just paid for their lunch and that was all. If you pay for your lunch, but it was only for people in my group. And I think the guys really found it. I found it interesting. And they brought some very nice questions. A lot of people got a lot of their questions cleared up very nice. The personal interaction was much amazing than online. And probably this year we'll be doing a lot of that in different countries. It will all be just the cost of the haul and the cost of your lunch. I do not take profit out of that. I don't take profit from traders when they're struggling and they're learning, right? I don't do this as a profit way of making. People do those web seminars and they charge you to go there and you have to pay and they make a lot of money out of it. I'm not into that. I don't try to just make money from traders. That's not my business. But I like to interact with traders. So we will probably do a lot of that. It will be only for my group people because we discuss things that we can discuss with the general public. And it's very interesting. You get all your questions answered. It's amazing. So this, I'm expecting one more up. If it is going to go down, we broke the top here. Remember, we're expecting to go break that top. I don't think this is the end of the move because we broke the top. I believe we'll come back here. And then at this point, we'll see whether we're going down. Not exactly that point, but somewhere in that area. So don't start selling it from here because I draw an arrow or I put a line there. It's somewhere in that area we'll look for downside. Is it going to go up above there? I doubt it, though. We'll keep an eye to see what the structure does. If you get into the buy and it starts to do something like this, take a break-even trade, look for another impulse down, right? But I'm looking mostly for an upside because I think we're making some kind of an expanding flat. Swiss, I think it's very similar to the yen, and we're looking for upside. Definitely you want to look at a buy. Remember, we had this structure well set since last year, and it did what we wanted. If you're following me the entire of last year, we wanted this move to come and break this low and then turn to the upside. And it did exactly that. It broke the low, went up, it's making consolidation in the middle, and the next impulse should be above here. See? So you can take a snapshot of this one and keep it. You don't have to, you don't have to just follow it blindly. Take a snapshot and keep it, and let's see what happens. I'm expecting consolidation here, and we already have some consolidation there. Remember, this is going up. They pull back. It's not going down. They go, they pull back. You got 3. It could be more than, it could be more complex than that. But eventually you're going up. So you can make a number of attempts at the buys and see what happens. It's a nice, if you get a buy set up, let's say in the 1 hour, you don't have one right now, but you could probably get one when they break here. They're probably going to consolidate a little here and then take off. If you get a breakout, that would be a good trade. Silver. I do see silver coming to break this top. And then we will see what happens. I'm expecting them to break this top eventually, right? As a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. But this middle could be more complex than just the way it's going right now. So that is why I'm not forecasting it to go immediately and buy that. But I'm in the buying silvers. If you remember where I was telling you to buy silver, those of you who were here last year with me, once they broke this low here, that's 16, that low, and before you break this low, 15, I think was at 1550. Yep. Once you get into that area, you start buying silver. If you look back at my webinar last year, that was where you should start buying silver. And if any one of you listened to that and bought silver, you're in profit. You can move that to break even now. You can probably move it into profit and wait. I'm expecting this to come break the top. Now, they may make some consolidations and pull back in here. Nothing to worry about. You see, they pull back, they might pull back, go, pull back, go. And when they break that top, then we will decide, are we going down for more or is it coming to break this top? And then we will decide what to do with the buys. Right now, we just hold the buys, right? Nothing new, sorry. This one is not that difficult to trade. It's pretty easy to trade. As a matter of easier than this to trade, and I will move to that chart. I'll come back to the other chart, but move to this chart that was much more easier to trade than this, was Ripple. If all of you remember, right? We'll go look at Ripple later on. Buy at 15, buy at 16, buy at 40. If you did that, you made a lot of buy traders did, so they're making a lot of profit out of it. If you were trading, that would have been the trade, right? I was insisting that you guys buy it because, hey, 15 cents can't go lower, right? You can't go wrong. Gold, by the way, is making a pretty complex pattern here for us because I'm expecting gold to retest this low. But with silver going up, the question is gold going to tag this top first before they come here, right? It could definitely go tag that top first before they come in. I'm not expecting it to do that, and I'm not trading gold. As a matter of fact, I trade silver mostly. So what you're going to do is if you're in the buy, and so if you're in the buy in gold, there was a buy set up here. If you're in the buy, just move your stops. Don't take off the trade. If you're looking for a sell setup, we don't have any sell setup here as yet. There is the buy setup. If you're going to buy, if you're not in the buy and you want to buy, wait for this to give you some kind of indication they're going to go higher. Because right now in this consolidation, they can do both drop and, they can go up as well as they can drop. Euro Oz, nothing new here. Remember I showed you that pattern and said they will come down, they're coming down. Now, the question is how far will it go? Because there is a pattern that could just stop somewhere here and go back up, right? There's a pattern that could do that. We're not going to discuss what pattern it is and how it does that. Or there is a chance they could come to this low and then go back up. Or the bigger question is they can come to this level and then go back up. So the question now is which out of those three patterns we're going to get. Let's see. It's easy, right? Let's see. What you're looking for was a sell from the top. You're still looking for a sell. And some of you should already be in that sell. If you're in the sell, you can move your stop to this level. Just put your stop above there now and walk away from that trade for a while. Let's see what it does. If you're now selling, don't sell it here, because that is for people who sold there or who sold here. If you're now selling, this is not a good place to sell. You got to wait, because this could start to make more consolidations in here. And if they do this, we're confirming bigger downside. If they just keep going like this slowly, we can't confirm the bigger downside. Possible they can stop here and go back up for one of the three patterns we're looking at. I'm in the sell personally in this, and I hope it goes very well. Let's see. I'm hoping to see it go all the way and retest this low. So let's see if that will happen. This low, sorry. Let's see if that will happen. I don't think that will happen, because we're looking at this very big pattern here, big correction. And I thought they would do this and then go down a bit imperfect. But if they come here and then go down, it'll be good too. Just get out of the trade by then and start looking for buys. We will look at the structure. Right now, the structure is not giving us a sign it's turning. Right? Nothing in it to say it's turning. Say they're going down some more. Or they're consolidating sideways. Either way, it's good. More downside. Euro New Zealand, downside. Nothing new here. Right? And it's going to come down at least to this trend line because of this bigger pattern we're looking at. I think I showed you this. We're expecting this move down and we're getting it. And from here, we'll see up or break. Right? In this structure, both of those are possible. So let's see which one works. Euro Chief, look for sell setups. Expect a regular flat, not ugly contracting flats. That happens very often, Antonio. Get used to it. Contracting flats are very, very often in those charts. See? So just get used to it. Your Lord. I suspect it was getting contracting very early. So, we looked at it and decided we're going to get. Edge is lagging. Okay, we'll go to the Chrome. Anybody else is getting the lagging, or just, if you're getting lagging, type a Y. No, don't type the N, just the Y. We just want to know how many people are getting lagging. If you're not getting lagging, don't do anything. Okay, 10 people. That's a lot. 10 out of 190, no problem. I'll change to Chrome so that nobody gets lagging, right? So all is good now. Don't worry, I'll change that for the next one. So this one is pretty easy, right? Remember we said watch this pattern, they're going to go down. So you can start, if you're not in the sell, look for a sell setup somewhere here. Once they come to about this level, move it to break even. I'm anticipating a breakdown, but just in case they decide to make one more up, move it to break even. But most likely, I think we're going to get a breakthrough. Euro Yen, look for a sell setup. Some of you should, some of my traders are already in the sell setup. Look for a sell. If you're not in the sell, wait for a flag, sell. When they come to this level, move it to break even. We're looking for a big breakdown in the Euro Yen. Is it this one that is going to go? We're still expecting the Euro Yen. Remember, we said if they go sideways, they're going to go a little more up, but we're still expecting this trade down. Nobody has changed that trade as yet, right? So they went a little more up. I don't think they're going to go big time upside. We saw that, which means that at this point, if this starts to fall, you want to get in the trade. So you get in early in the sell, you move it to break even, and you wait to see what happens, right? By the way, if you want to know a little more about that, stay to the very end of the webinar when I'll be talking about the course. I'll give you a little preview of what to expect from the course. EuroCAD, 4 hours. Nothing new here. We are in this structure. Right now, we broke. If you're in the sell, move your stops, because at this level, two things could happen. They could go down big time, or they could go back up. So let me show you where you don't want to get out of this trade, because there is potential for downside. I think we showed you that once we broke this stop, there's a potential for downside here. And if you're paying keen attention to the webinar for the last 10 minutes, I showed you a pattern like this on the Swiss dollar, right? I hope you saw that. So if you're paying attention, you know that this is possible. Because when the Swiss dollar was doing that, we said it's going to come break that low and then go back up, right? So keep your eyes open. If you're paying attention, you can see, yeah, I saw that. It's possible it's going to happen, right? Now, why this might not happen if it doesn't happen is because if you're making a bigger consolidation there for one more up, which means this is 1, 2, 3, they can go back up, right? That's variation how the patterns could be. So if you're in the trade, you just got to move your stops, move in the profit, and don't worry about it. Europan, it looks like they might not tag the top. I'm hoping they do tag that top, but it looks like they're not going to tag it. We're looking for that one more. I think all of you should have these lines drawn because we had them since last year, consolidating in here and then drop to this level. When we were going up, we did that. We said they will come up here. If you remember what the lines were like, they were like this, coming up here and then coming down to break this low, right? It never showed they would break the top. We were not expecting a break of the top. But now that they've broken the top, they've confirmed one thing to us. And that is amazing. They've confirmed that we're in a sideways move. And that means there will be an impulse to the upside. The question is it going to break this low before we go? Or will it stop somewhere here and go? Right? That is the next piece we're going to look for, right? So what we're going to look for here now is sells from anywhere around this area here, or even from here, because I'm not expecting a running flat, but if they do make it, we'll have to be aware. So we can change this. They got out. They broke out a little early, so we can put probably the bigger, wait for a bigger structure. Wait, don't sell here because I think this is going to give you one up. If you look at 1, 2, 3, they'll probably give us a move up here. You'll most likely get one more impulse up before they start to go down. So the sell is too early. Wait for a flag before you sell. And wait not even for a flag. Wait for a correction in the 4 hour before you sell. This if you sell at the bottom here or so, take this off. If you sell there, you'll end up in trouble because it's very likely going to make one more up. Pound Chief, definitely downside. Let's see if they break out now. If you're looking for a sell, wait for it to break this structure because remember we showed you the likelihood of them repeating this structure, right? They made the 3-wave there, come and go back up. Now, if you're interested in the buy, you will have to wait. We don't have a buy setup. You have to wait for the buy. I am not sure we'll get a 5th one in here, right? I'm not sure we're going to get that. So I'm most likely thinking they're going to break from here. Watch for this trade at least. If you're going to wait for a buy, let them make an impulse and let them give you a correction like that. A correction like this here. See that correction in there? That was your buy setup. Your buy setup will come in somewhere here. You wait for a buy setup somewhere here for that trade. Don't jump in this one too early. It's very, very likely they're going to fall. All the Pong trades are showing you downside. You heard that since last year, right? When this was going up, wait for that big move down. You're getting a sell setup here, by the way. On the 1 hour and the 4 hour, you're getting a sell setup, right? On the New Zealand, you're getting a sell setup, right? New Zealand, you're getting a sell setup. Nothing new here, right? On the Pound New Zealand, remember the 4 hour time frame, you said there was a 1, 2, 3 correction at the top. Is there a possible one more up? On the Pound New Zealand, the 1, 2, 3 correction at the top. You have to remind me which time frame you're talking about for. If you're daily, this was the structure we had for downside. 1, 2, 3. If you're in a 4 hour, we were waiting for this to break the top and then turn, right? Broke this top and turn. It made 1, 2, 3, made a new high here and turn. I think this is a turning point already. If you're in the 1 hour, once they made the first impulse, if you didn't sell anywhere in here, we said wait for a break, wait for a sideways, and then turn. You got a sideways. 1, 2, 3. You're going down. Wait for any 1 hour flag and sell 1 hour flag and sell 1 hour flag and sell. Keep selling this, right? So this one is definitely downside. All Pong pairs have daily down structure, right? No, the momentum died here and they already corrected. So this is now starting to go. That means it will continue to go. Pong Yen, this is the only one that is not going down that we are expecting to go down to, but it keeps making higher high. So the buy, if you're in the buy, you got to be careful because you can see that any one time this whole structure will go down. Still no clue what it's doing. We'll have to allow this to make a lot of more corrections in here. These moves are not very big after they made this correction, or after, you know, they made this correction, that one there, they made a new high, they made another correction, a new high. We'll have to wait to see what that structure is doing. This is not sustainable and going up very strong. I think eventually they will have to correct before they go, which means they'll have to come back to some level here and then go, right? Or we will look at this whole thing as the correction. I still don't see a structure in there that I know, right? There isn't a known structure in that whole thing to me as yet, so we'll have to wait. We don't have any trade in it right now, so I'll probably don't call any trade. Not buy, not sell, just leave it alone. If you don't know what it's doing, wait until it tells you what it's doing, right? Pound CAD, we're looking for sells and we're getting the sells. So, you know, this whole structure is broken. They're coming down. We can take that out and we can take this out because it looks like we're going to get more downside, right? On the daily structure, this was the only one that did not break the top before it starts to fall. The pound Oz did, the pound New Zealand did. If you're looking at the pound Swiss, you will see the pound Swiss broke the top too. The pound yen broke the top, but it's not falling. The pound yen is the only one that broke the top. Let me use the red color. That broke the top, but it's not falling. This one broke top, this one broke top, this one broke top, and they're going down. This is the only one we haven't broke the top. We got 1, we get 2, and we get 3. So the question is it going down from here, or will they make an attempt to break the top and then go? Right? That is what we're going to wait to see, right? So what I'm going to do here now, if you're selling, if I'm you and you're selling, I'm not into selling this one. I'm trading the pound chief right now. So if you're selling here, right, if you're in any sales, move your stops because there's a good risk of them coming here before they go. There's a big risk of them doing that, making a spike up here, then go. If we get a buy setup, I don't think it's going to happen this week. But if we do get a buy setup, which means if they start to break out of this to the upside, we will buy it because it will come break this top and likely break that up. Right? This is the only one that hasn't broken the top to go down as yet. It can go down without breaking the top. As a contracting flat, somebody already told you guys earlier about that one. Contracting flat that we did. But I can't confirm that because it's not going aggressive. I'm more likely, I'll just put this just in case, I'm more likely believing it's going to go up. But asking person, I'll be betting on the upside first before they go down. But let's see. If the cat takes off first this week, you will probably get that trade. Aussie, New Zealand, it broke to the downside, so there was a sell setup for us, or they will give you a sell setup here. Wait for a flag, wait for some corrections here, and then go for the sell. Don't sell it because this here is not confirming anything this is yet. And Aussie, New Zealand is in a big daily sideways, I should say a big weekly sideways structure. Very big weekly sideways. It's just going sideways here. We were expecting 1, 2, 3 and up. 1, 2, 3 last year. Remember, we were looking for that, and we were saying this is going to take off. Well, it didn't. It's making a more complex structure. That does not mean it will not give you the trade, because I think one troll, I should say, went. I think he's trolling. I don't think he's that stupid, but I think he's trolling. But he's expecting this thing to go up, but it's not going. Expecting it to go and let it go doesn't mean any difference to me, because if I'm expecting it to go, doesn't mean I'm trading it up. We did trade this up. We did trade this up. But after we realized that this structure is not an impulse, we expected 1, 2, 3 more down, and then we're still going to get that. Now, Antonio, you know it. I don't think you're in my room, but you just gave away the secret. If you think it's over, go look at the pound CAD. They will tell you how long they can go sideways before they go up. See? So when you expect something to go and it doesn't go, don't start freaking out about it. Learn to trade. I actually wanted to tell him that. Just learn to trade. Don't freak out. It's a nice new year. Enjoy your life. Relax. Learn to trade, and you'll be the coolest trader in the world. You're never gonna freak out. I haven't traded since last year, and I'm not freaking out. I'm not even worried about it. It's the confidence of understanding how structure behaves. Let's go. Aussie CAD. You take trades. I would say stop taking it. I would say take the trades, and when they don't, go get the hell out of them. When they're going, keep them. Right? If you're expecting this thing to go up and you're in the trade and it's going, you keep it. If it's not going, get out. All those of how to get out, where to get out, when to get out, we look at. This one here is all the Aussie trades, they're going like sideways. So if you're going to look for, if you were in the buy from the low here, which if you remember in the 1 hour and the 4 hour last year, we were saying look for buy setups where they come back to this level. Well, they came back to that level. They could have broken out. We were expecting them to break out. They did break out slightly. Worst case is you're out of that trade right now. They broke here. If they break this top again, buy. Because this buy will go to make a new high. So you're going to take this trade. To the downside, if they go for the downside, which means if they continue to make these small impulses down, they'll just come and test this low. So it's not the best trade, but you can get a trade. The trade will be the trade to the upside. Yes, that should be everybody's New Year's resolution, Joseph. Joseph is in our group, by the way. Don't freak out, learn the trade. Aussie yen, upside, we have a big corrective structure in the middle here, so I think we will retest that top. Might not give you a lot of good trades because once they break that top, they could be turning. And this did not give us the buy we were looking for, because even if you took this buy, there wasn't an entry for it, but even if you took it, you got to break even. You should not stay into this, or you may even have taken a loss. So if you get another correction here, then you go for a buy. Wait for another correction, then buy. Downside, not ready as yet. Aussie Chief, you might get a short trade to the downside in this one this week. I can see this coming down here and probably breaking the low. So you can look for that trade. By the way, not a bad short-term trade. Right? You might get a couple pips out of that. Short-term. New Zealand yen, wait for this. We're breaking this bigger structure. They came up to the top here. And this was another one. Remember we said watch this trade here. They will probably break to the downside, tag this low, then come back. Well, they didn't break. They didn't tag the low. They just went up like that. I wasn't in the trade, but some people were freaking out also. And I was like, well, I didn't see the setup you were looking for because I didn't get a breakout. It's going up. We start buying from here. Once we figure out this structure, we start buying. We're buying. It broke here. Wait for correction now. Now that we've broken the daily structure, wait for correction. Do not jump in a buy here. Wait for this to actually pull back all the way like this. Then go for that trade. Don't buy it to the top here, because if you buy there, you will be stuck in a sideways move where you will take a loss on that trade, then you will watch it go. They always pull back before they go. They always pull back before they go. They always, look at this one. See this? Look at the depth of that pullback before it goes. Wait for this to pull back before it goes. Right? For breaking this low, I don't think so. We don't, once they break out of this structure, I don't see them coming back to the low, but I can see them pulling back very deep to the low before they go. So watch this. It's in a big sideways move. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3. Is that all of that is all when they pull back here, you go for the break of the top, which means you go for this trade. So if you wait for a pullback, and that might take a week or 2, you will get a good trade to the upside. Selling it short term, not a good idea. Canadian, it's not exactly making that flat as if 333. It's making a more complex pattern. But like I said, we're not discussing the pattern it's making. It's not a simple pattern in that one. It's a more complex pattern than the 333. It already made a 333 early that didn't work. So it's making a much more complex one. Same here with the Canadian. They're all making very complex patterns, right? This is a corrective structure. This one just keeps pushing up. Wait at this level, don't buy. Right? Let me go back to the 4 hour and the 1 hour for you to see. Don't buy at that level. See, they're coming back. But if you get a sell setup back to this level here, sharp move and a flag, sell. See this? Once you get a structure to sell, sell it. Get another sell setup, sell it. You get another sell setup, wait for a sell setup, and then sell it. That'll give you, take short trades in it. Don't keep the trades. Cat Chief, upside, this was a buy, but this one, if you're not very experienced, just stay out of this. It's going up, but not confirming very much of where it's going to go. So I would say stay out of it, because this whole big thing is a correction. So this upside doesn't mean anything very much. It break and it can come right back down. If you're trading this, trade with a lot of care, because if you look at this whole piece here, it didn't go anywhere. And most of those trades, when you take them, you get break even. They come right back. They spike, give you 50 pips and pull back. So better stay out of it. New Zealand CAD, same here, spike out, came right back in. Let's see what I don't think we have any trade here for the next week, so stay out of this too. It's going sideways. You can see this, right? Eventually they're going to go down, but I want this to come and break this top before they go, right? I don't see it happening, and I don't see a sell setup in it. So we'll wait patiently for that trade setup. New Zealand Swiss also going up. All the New Zealand trades are showing that upside, at least to this level, and then we'll see what happens. Do we have a trade setup here? I think no. We don't have any. We're in a big sideways move. You can see that. And we don't have any setup here for a trade. Not even on the 1 hour. See, even on the 1 hour, you don't have a trade. This is not a good sell setup here. See, they're just pulling back, go like this, go like this. Wait for them to break out of this structure. Or if you get a flag somewhere here, then you could start some. But I'm expecting one more up to, come back to this top first. So I can see them trying to get to the top before they go. Buy it to the top here, unless you get a deep pullback like this. And if they come back like this, well, then you can look for that buy. Otherwise, to that, nothing to do there. Copper. Copper, you can look for sell setups. I think it will make sense. You wouldn't buy until they break out of this top here. But if you get short-term sells, if you get a flag here, take a sell, you get a flag, sell, you get a flag, sell. You see how many flags they can make when they're going? So they can make a lot of flag and give you short-term trades. Take all of them as short-term trades. Because it's not confirming the downside as yet for longer-term trade. So you can take every flag you get, take out your profit. US oil, wait for pullback. If you wait for the pullback here and bought at this level, if you bought anywhere or bought at this breakout, you got a good trade, move your stop, they're going to pull back again. Right? Then you buy. This is a big three-wave pattern. So how high will they go before they turn? Good question, right? How high would this go before it turns? So watch this area here. That, at any point we can expect a deeper correction or probably even retesting of the low. Why that would happen, I have no idea. But will it happen? I have no idea. So if you're going to look for a buy, go on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, wait for consolidation, then buy. This was your consolidation for buy. Wait for another consolidation, then buy. All right, as you move, the higher you go, the more you want that confirmation for the next trade up. UK oil, same would be here in the UK oil, right? Wait for a pullback and then trade it. Yep, oil can go down, definitely. There is no, there is absolutely no difference. I think the downside is very possible. That's a very big picture. Short term, you're going up. Right? Short term, you're actually going up right now. So wait until that upside finish before we start talking about the downside. And on this one, definitely you're going to see one more up, right? It's kind of making some sharp moves in here, which is not giving you good trade because we did get that. I still want to see them come break this up here first before they go down, right? This is a big sideways move. So you can either take small trades within it, very small trades within it. I don't think this is going to come very far. Watch for consolidations in here. Watch for a breakout there, small trade there, then come back here and then go, right? We are looking for that pattern. If we get that pattern, it will be perfect. If they make another pattern, if the structure is creating another pattern, we'll see. All right, now you can start looking for buy setups. S&P 500 broke out of that correction. We saw that as a correction. Up, it's going up still. So every correction you get, you take a trade and take profit. Which means if you're in this trade, my trade was that if you're in this trade, move your stop, move your stop, move your stops. Keep moving your stop every time it makes a small one because you don't know when they're going to fall. It is very high. And if you know anything about patterns, they don't go up forever. When they start stretching it like this, look for the reversal. At the very point where everybody in the world thinks it's not going to stop going up, that's the catch, right? I can show you about 20 or 40 charts with that. When they stretch it up like that and then they drop it so fast, or they pull it in the opposite direction so fast that if you were not able to get out, you wouldn't get out, right? I doubt it has anything. You know, the people like to think that the market is moving because somebody said something or somebody is doing something or all of that. It's not related. It's very much not related. And actually, I can prove it to a lot of people who are arguing that, making that argument. We can prove it to them, but sometimes you just have to let people go with their belief system, right? Don't try to prove them wrong. Bitcoin might even go higher because there's a good reason why they may want to push Bitcoin higher, trap more people into it. But you can make money out of it if you know how to trade it, right? DAX, two things you're going to watch here. Let me show you guys this pattern because it's interesting. It did exactly what we expected it to do. And last time I did a webinar, I said, wait for this consolidation, sell it when it breaks this low, take profit, because we're either making one out of either this structure is over here with an expanding flat in the middle and we're going up to break the top, which means your correction would be like this. Or we're making a triangle. What does a triangle mean? The triangle means they will come back one more here and then go back up. So you're going to get a move to the upside, which means you should buy it somewhere here. You should have bought it. If you didn't buy it, don't buy it now because this is the turning point. Wait for it to break out, make a flag, make a correction, and then buy to break the top. One more impulse, take your profit. It will make one more impulse up. If this is a triangle, it will stop there, come back down, and then go. You don't have a sell at the top there. That's not where you would sell it. Because if it's a three-wave correction, which is 1, 2, 3, then this structure is over. You never know what this piece is, especially when you're in a triangle. There are 3 or 4 options of how that could develop. So you can take the pieces inside, like you took that buy, you took this sell, you take small profit, and you get out. Now you don't have anything to do, so wait. Nifty, still probably one more up. Very short term. If you take that trade, wait for another correction like this, right? Before you buy long term. This should be a short term trade if you take it, right? There may be a lot of other charts like Ripple. So let's go. What else you're looking at? Bitcoin, for those of you who want to trade it, Bitcoin, you want to be careful if you're a buyer in Bitcoin. Right? Bitcoin has Bitcoin likes to make this pattern. 1, 2, don't break the low and start going back up for the 3, right? This 3 doesn't break the low and go back up. But if you're buying, I'll be careful. Because it's starting to look like you got 1, 2, 3, and you could come back here. This is starting to look like a flat. It's not confirming a flat, but it's starting to look like one. So if I were you and I were buying, I'd start moving my stops, right? Put your stops here and then wait to see. If they make a flag and go, you can buy again there, put your stops here. They make another flag and go, put your stops, buy and put your stops here. At some point, this is going to come back, right? So if it comes from here, if it starts fall from here, be careful because that fall could be huge. This would be the biggest correction in the structure so far, if that happens. So we haven't had a big correction in the structure, and the structure always corrects itself, right? No, these are small corrections. So this so far will be the biggest correction. And when it makes a big, if it does make a big correction, it's going to take a while before you go back up, right? They're going to make a very deep correction before they go. So be careful if you're in the buys. Ripple, amazing. You were supposed to buy in this big correction. Remember that? I've been stressing to everybody, if you're going to invest your money in anything, and I think I've said this like about 6 webinars in a row while this was happening. If you really love the cryptocurrencies and you want to make a lot of money and you think you should invest in crypto, this was the one you were supposed to invest in at 50. When it was 15, 15.5, 14, 16, I said, if you want to invest, this is your trade. Because this one has not taken off as yet. I even showed you that Bitcoin took off. This did not take off. This is the trade you want. See, it's still going, right? And it will probably still go. This thing is only $3, 3.4. That's the point. 3.5, that's what it hit. This could still go a lot more. Right? If Bitcoin hit 20,000, this thing could at least hit 1,000. right? There's potential for this to go, right? You know, the idea, the reason these things are moving is all manipulation, like most markets. And the reason they're moving is because they're willing, people who are willing to invest in them. Nothing is wrong with that. If you know to trade and you trade the way I tell you to trade, take your profit out. First thing I would say is if you bought this, take out your capital. This is what I would say to you. When it starts to pull back, take out your capital. Trade with the profit. And every time you get a pullback and you buy it, it goes again, take out some profit. Because eventually, when it does crash, you don't have to worry. You've already taken out enough profit of it. Don't get too much of yourself and reinvest into it. People tend to, they bought, they sold, they made profit, and then it came down. They said, oh, I'm going to buy more, and they put more money in and they buy more. The market wants you to do that. Because if you keep investing more and more and more, when it collapses, you lose more. So, and it will always come back down. There isn't a single thing that goes up and hasn't come down. That's just physics, right? If you don't know anything, that's just physics. Everything that goes up, come down. So at some point, and that come down could be so fast that you might not be able to sell what you're holding. So start taking profit out of the market, because then you will be able to claim, I took profit out of the market. Otherwise, you'll be one of those people who will be crying if you're not taking profit and you think that you can just invest, and it's going to go forever. So take profit out, wait for corrections, buy back. When they go, take profit again, wait for corrections, buy back. You'll make a lot of money, basically, right? 1,000, very possible. Somebody said 1,000 is not impossible. I mean, if Bitcoin hit 20,000, what's 1,000, right? It's nothing. You can trade anything and make money. That's the problem. You don't have to trade this. But if you're trading this and you like it because it's fast money, it's moving very fast because nothing much is moving, great, no problem with that as well. Right? You can use anything you want to analyze your chart. So let's go. Nasdaq, please. Not this week. Next week I'll do some extra charts for you guys, because this week I want to use a short time to explain about the upcoming webinar. So those of you who are interested in the webinar could stick on. I'll spend about 10 minutes, 15 minutes talking about, not webinar, sorry, the upcoming course. So those of you who are interested at this point could stick around. Those who are not very interested in the course, maybe you're already my trader, you can either stick around or leave. You don't have to leave, but you can stick around. What I'll be telling the guys who are sticking around is what we do in the course, because there's a lot of question about it. What we do in the course, and I'll give you an insight as to what you can learn in the course, because that's a question I get from a lot of people. People ask me, how many of your traders are successful? Well, we did a poll at the end of the year, right? And we did I will put the poll in short form, because we had about 4 or 5 questions. People who just joined the course, people who joined the course for 6 months, people who joined the course for a year, who are making money. And people who are in my course for at least 1 year and not making money, it's 14% of the whole poll, but that's a little higher because the poll includes people who are not trading. And so we recalculate to get a good thing of the whole group. Of the whole group, people who joined 1 year and 6 months, about 65% of the people are making money. For people who join about 6 months only, we have a higher percentage from the rest of the 35. I think about 15 or so who are from the rest of the 15 or so who joined 6 months and are not making money. From who joined a year and not making money, that percentage is smaller. But it goes with what we were doing for the entire year, because the entire year, every now and then, we will take weekly polls. Who made money 1 week, who made money 3 months. And we always get about 6 to 65% people making money. So we have made a resolution this year. I've asked all my successful traders, including myself, to help everybody at the end of this year make money. That's a resolution we took in our group. So every successful trader will help one person who's struggling, as well as all those who are struggling very seriously, do one-on-one with me. I've done a number of them already last week, and I'm going to do some after this webinar here. I'm going to do about 2 or 3 one-on-one again. I do like 3, 4 a day when I'm free, and we will continue to do that all the time. We do that. So if you're struggling trader in my group, I do one-on-one with you until you get to start being successful, right? That's the whole point of how we actually work. We are here to make sure you're successful. we don't leave you. We don't give you a set of webinars and leave you. And I receive a letter from one person. You don't have to identify yourself. I'm not telling your story. I'm telling a common story that is I've heard many times, but this is true because it's from you and you may recognize yourself. You don't have to answer. Someone who is about 78 years old, 70 something years old, if I may miss the exact age, right? Don't take me anything for that. And has taken 2 different courses from very, 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 very well-known, groups of people, company that train people, and has never learned anything from them, right? He has actually lost more money trading with them and taking the courses than you can imagine. And that person wrote me and tell me his story. I had to read it twice. I could not help it. It's amazing what some people will do. The first thing I want you to know is if you're going to take my course, I want you to have at least 1 year experience. A lot of traders write me and say, well, I have 8 months experience. Can I join you? I have 9 months experience. It's not about the 1 year experience. The reason I'm giving you 1 year to consider if you want to be a trader is because if you're absolutely new and you just come in this business and you said, I want to learn to trade, and you take a course, 2 things you should know. One is you will not learn anything. You will not learn very much because you don't have the basics to understand what we're doing. And the second thing is you're making a decision without knowing what you're making the decision about. You're making a decision out of ignorance. I want you to join my course by making that decision out of knowledge. I want you to take a year, try to figure out from all the free stuff you have in the internet, and there's an abundance of free stuff in the internet, what trading is all about. Don't buy any course anywhere. Don't buy my course. Don't buy anybody's course. Go through all the free stuff. Figure out what trading is about. Practice on a few demo accounts, maybe 20 demo accounts. You'll blow them all up probably, but you will have a feel as to what it is. You will figure out whether it's for you or not. And if after 1 year you do make that decision that, yes, I want to learn this stuff, you're welcome to join my group. Because now you're making a decision from knowledge. You've learned a whole year. You've taken a whole year to make that decision. I don't want you to just jump into Forex because somebody tell you you're going to get rich. And he heard of some people who is a billionaire because of that. And then come here. I want you to really make that decision on solid knowledge, done your research for a whole year, figuring out whether you this, understanding that you're not going to be super rich if you have a $100, $5,000 or $10,000, you should know what percentage you can expect per month turnover and all of that, all of these things are what I want you to know before you make that decision. And when you do ready to make that decision, I want you to know that you also have to have a capital to trade. If you don't have a sizable capital, this is what I've turned down a lot of people from taking the course who tell me they have $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, maybe even $5,000 account. One guy wrote me, he has saved $2,000 to take my course. And I said, please don't do that. Keep your $2,000 because you don't have money to trade. He was like, I just need to get this knowledge. And I said, when you get the knowledge, what would you do with it? I will go find somebody to invest in me. And I was like, I know what you're saying, but it's more like a dream. Because who is going to invest in you if you have not proven any track record? And traders are not stupid, investors are not stupid people. They're not just going to invest in you because you took a course anywhere. So please, people, be very careful. And the reason I'm doing these free webinars is to actually send this message across to all aspiring traders who want to be traders with small accounts. It's not that easy. Even if you're a super trader and you have a $1,000 account and you can double that every, year, that's $1,000 a year. I think you better find a job because $1,000 a year, you can't live on that. It's not a lot of money. So it's not, now, there is one trader, I can tell you, who took my course and he told me, he was actually in university. He said, hey, I'm taking this only for the knowledge. I don't have the capital, but I'm in university and I want this knowledge because I'm going to go work for a prop firm. And he said, I'm already sending them out. I'm already sending out my resume. I just want to add your course onto the resume. And I said, okay, great. I understand your point. Take the course. He took the course. He actually got the job, but not only because of my course. He got the job because of his resume. He just wanted to add my course to his resume. He's a university graduate. And he wanted to say, I have also did a course on technical thing from this guy. He got the job, and when he got the job, he came back, he told everybody in the group about it, he wrote a thank you note, and then he came back and he did a webinar inside of our group for our traders, showing them what he's learned and what he's doing at the platform. But, that was the last webinar he did, because we are not expecting him to be active in our group anymore, since he's trading for a big firm now. So it's not because he took the course, but he just wanted that knowledge. And I understand, and I said, okay, great, go ahead, do it. Because I know with his resume, he's definitely going to get a job. He just needs some extra knowledge. That didn't hurt him. So if you're doing it for that purpose, and you can show me that that's what you're doing, that's okay. But if you're doing it that you're going to suddenly get rich, it's not going to happen, guys. And don't let anyone fool you to believing that it's possible. Because it's not going to, you'll just lose your money. You'll just pay me money that, you will not be able to take advantage of. There are people making amazing sums of money in my group. People trading 6, 7 digits account, and they're making a lot of money. They have good experience, but they have the capital to make the money. And that is very, very important. So we have a course coming up. Now that I've warned you what the course is, what you should expect. We have a course coming up on the 22nd of January. If you're interested in joining us and you have those prerequisites, all the conditions that I've already explained to you, my Skype ID is MANGAL457. Send me a Skype request. I'll give you the details of the course, and you can do it. Now, what would you learn in that course? This is what we teach you in the course. We teach you how to read the charts. We teach you how to identify the patterns, how to make the forecast, how to figure out where and when and how the pattern is going to behave. When it's changing, when you look for a more complex pattern, when you look for, when you should get in a trade, and then when you should start moving that trade to break even. I think one of the very important things I have learned for myself from the group was this meeting that I had with my traders in Dubai, where I face-to-face see where they, when they're asking the questions and we're looking at the charts together and they're saying, okay, what would we have done here? And then I figure out, okay, this is where some traders are making money. They're making problem, making themselves losing money. Is when the pattern starts to get complex. And it's easy what they have to do. It's pretty easy. Once I show them what they have to do, it becomes so easy. That is what we were, we're looking for. So we will do that. We'll do more of that. We teach you, you have lifetime access to the group. And it's a group of amazing set of traders. Now, I don't want anyone of you to rush into this decision. Think about it if you want to join us, and then make the decision. Right? You're welcome to join us. You will have lifetime access, and you will be with us for a long time, as long as you're willing to learn and make money. And we will expect that when you learn, you'll be helping somebody. Remember, I just said I'm attaching the winning traders to some people who are still struggling. And when you become a winning trader, we're hoping that you would help somebody in the group. That is why we keep you here lifetime. So it's all your decision. You think very hard if you still want to be a trader. It's not a get rich quick scheme, and we are going to be teaching you very much. So we want you to be willing to learn. It's 5 weeks, a lot of practice sessions and classes. I do the classes myself, the practice sessions, which is where we were in small groups, 10, 12, we put you together, then we put you with a senior trader who knows the stuff very well, watch what you're doing. You are actually showing your screens, demonstrating what you've learned. He will make corrections as you go along. And then when you're finished, you get to do practice with me. How the practice goes with me, we do what we call marathon, which means from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I am on, and one person present to me every half hour. And we do that. Once the course is over, we do about 2 or 3 of them. And then every course that we do, I do a few of them more. For those who have completed the course and still need more help. And we do them every now and then. We never stop doing them. We do Q&A questions. I've taken it to practice to do 1 Q&A at least a month in my group. Sometimes I do 2, which means, as you're studying, questions will come up. You bring them, I answer them. show you how that. I sometimes put you to demonstrate it, show me where you're getting difficulties, where it's a question, and then we answer it for you. We answer all your questions, and we're not going anywhere because we are here to make you successful. We're not just giving you a set of videos for $500 and say go. Because I have spoken to some people who bought those and then they don't know what to do with the videos because they become useless to them. Even if the videos have amazing thing, without practicing, you wouldn't be able to use them, right? So make your decisions and let me know. 22nd, we're starting. You need to be at least 1 week early so that the payment gets in the time. Sorry for being such a, taking so much of your time to talk about the webinar. I really don't like to do that part very much. I'd rather be showing you more of the charts. But sometimes you have to let people know because I get so much questions. Rather than answer each question separately, I decided I'm going to just make it one big. So thank you guys for coming. It's a new year. Have a happy new year. I hope all of you are going to be very successful this year. Whether you take the course or not, doesn't matter. But you're going to be a very good trader, very successful. Keep coming. Keep sharing the links. For those people who cannot afford the course, please come to the weekly webinar and share it with new traders who cannot afford. Here's what I know this will help you do. If you don't become very successful, you might not lose your account, right? It's going to help you, prevent you from making crazy trades and lose your account. So share those webinars that I have, especially the one on money management and a few more that I have on my Facebook page. So the traders could take a look. It might help them. It might help them to prevent them from losing their account and hard-earned money. And that's why we're here. So once again, thank you for coming. Have a great year, and I'll see all of you every week. Take care. Bye-bye. I have to stop the live and